Hello, welcome to The Vital Truth. We'll be talking a little bit today about a clean house. Cleaning house. Now, Eli was a high priest at Shiloh. And Eli had two sons, Hophni and Phinehas. And now, Eli being the high priest of his at Shiloh, of the house, it was his duty and obligation to keep his house in order. You parents out there today that's got children, it's your responsibility, the man of the house. And if there's no man around, a woman is to keep things in order. There's no gender with God, but God uses a man. It's a man's obligation, whether you're a sinner or whether you're a saint. It's still a man's obligation to let his house run right. Well, I remember when I was young, even sinner people had some morals about them. I mean, they reverenced pastors, preachers, and Christians. They wouldn't use foul language around them, and they treated them decent. Nowadays, there is no respect for God, man, nor beast. People's lost their respect. Women's lost their blush. Men is anything that makes them feel good, they think it's all right, but it's not all right. God has a moral standard. You can have fun in life and enjoy life and still not be an abomination in the sight of God, but look at us today. People's running around and doing everything under the sun, as it was in the days of Lot, as it was in the days of Noah. They're doing it today. Sin is abounding, man, but where sin abounds, grace does much more abound. God is greater. He's more powerful than all the sin in existence. But let me go on with this lesson here right now. Eli's two sons was the sons of Belial, the devil. They didn't know God. They wasn't acquainted with God. They was just the sons of Eli, the high priest. What they was done is they was laying with women in the temple at Shiloh, where God's Ark of the Covenant and the glory of God would come down, and they was robbing tithes and doing all kinds of ungodly scenes. And word was getting around. See, you can't do wrong and get by. Word will get around. You Christians out there, so-called Christians that's living like pure hell, people will know about it. It'll get out. You can't hide. Everything done in secret will be brought into the light. You might fool some people, but it'll come out on you. It's like the measles. It'll break out on you eventually. You think you're getting away with something? You can't work for God and live like hell. You got to be a separate people. And I'm not talking about dress codes and all this kind of junk. I'm talking about having your heart right with God. God's a heart God. He's not and you get your heart right with God, you'll take care of your body. It'll just come naturally as involuntary, like breathing or blinking your eyes. The reason people struggle with serving God, they want to hold on to God and hold on to the things of the world. All category of sins comes under the lust of flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. But here was Eli's two sons committing sin, right in the presence where God would come down. And it came to Eli that what they was doing, he told them, you need to quit doing this, boys. It's not right. Why are you doing? Words come to me to what you're doing. You got to quit. How many times today you parents out there knows that when your children is living right in your house and they're doing everything under the sun, porno, drugs, alcohol, whatever, living like the devil, and you close your eyes to it. Well, Eli closed his eyes to it. He turned his head. He let him continue. And the man of God came to Eli and said, Eli, if you don't straighten this out now, in one day you're going to die. The Ark of the Covenant's going to be took, and your two sons is going to die. Well, Eli, rather than come against his family, his two sons, well, you know what the Scripture says? If you follow Jesus, you got to forsake everything. It don't matter what it is that hinders you from serving God. It don't matter who it is or how close they are to you. Anything that separates you from God is got to be dealt with, folks. But you know one thing about God, He always gives you a choice. God will never just zap you without giving you a choice or turning you over to your enemy to destroy you. No, He gives you a choice. He says, choose you today whom you'll serve. Serve me or serve the devil. Whatever you want to do, but I'm giving you a choice. This is what will happen if you serve the devil. And this is what I'll do if you serve me. You talk about the benefits of serving God. Why, wages of sin is death, folks. You can't serve the devil and wind up. You not only die bodily, but you'll die spiritually. But if you serve God, your flesh is going to be changed one day. Even if you go to the grave, you're going to be raised up incorruptible. You're going to be raised up glorified. You'll have a body like as unto Christ. 1 John said, it does not yet appear what we'll be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And everyone that has this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure. Here's Eli. The man of God come and told him, hey, this is what's going to happen if you don't deal with this. Well, he didn't deal with it. Well, the Philistines was bitter enemies of the children of Israel. And he was coming up against them. What happened was they went into battle and the Philistines beat the socks off of the Israelites. Put them to packing. Well, they decided, here's what's wrong. We'll go down to Shiloh and bring the ark back up, and then we'll whoop our enemies. Yeah, let's go get the ark. That's what the problem is. We don't have the ark with us. And we're going to go get the ark of the covenant and carry it up here, and then we'll just overpower the Philistines. Folks, you can carry a Bible around all day with you under your arm. You can have tattoos on your forehead, Bible scriptures all over you. But if you don't have it in your heart, you come up against the enemy, you're going to come up short, because it takes the genuine Holy Ghost power of God to confront the devil and put him in his place. We can't do it within ourselves. The Israelites thought, well, we'll just go ahead and bring the ark up and then we'll win. Well, they brought the ark up and they still got beat. The Philistines killed Eli's 2 sons, took the Ark of the Covenant, and took it back with them. You talk about destroying God's people. Well, let me tell you what happened. A runner came back into Shiloh and told Eli, said, hey, Eli said, tell me what's going on, man. He said, well, your 2 sons is dead. The Philistines has overpowered the Israelites, and they took the Ark of the Covenant. When Eli heard that the Philistines had took the Ark of the Covenant, he was heavy and fat, and he fell off of where he was sitting and broke his neck and died. Folks, God's judgment is coming against people. If God says he's going to destroy something, let me tell you something, you can bank on it. But he gives you a choice. You can choose today. If God is warning you, which I'm trying to do right now, I'm telling you, if you're living in sin today, you Christians out there, maybe you've been born again in time past. You say, well, I was born again. I went forward. I'm all right. You better know you're all right. You better make your calling and election sure, because you may come up short if you're not careful. Being born again don't give you a license to live like hell. It don't give you a license to go out here and fornicate and do everything under the sun, do your drugs and your porno and all this junk. It don't give you a license to do that. God said, be a separate people, come out from among them. He said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. What is commandments? Well, you need to read what his commandments is. It's love and loving other people, but there's more than that to it. And you got to get into Jesus. You got to forsake sin. If my people which are called by my name will humble himself and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I'll hear from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. You can't live like hell and be in good standing with God. I don't care if you've been saved 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. Don't tell me that you can't draw back from God. Don't tell me the soul that sinneth shall die. I want you to listen to this. I'm telling you what, this is so rich today. This is the richest thing that I've ever talked about in my life. It's time that the church world, I'm not talking about a building, I'm talking about the church world. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about people that's been saved and drawn back from God. Listen to this. James chapter 5, verse 19. Brethren, if any of you do err from the truth, and one convert him, let him know that he which converteth the sinner from the error of his way shall save a soul from death, and shall hide a multitude of sins. Folks, if that don't sum it up, I'm not here. You say, well, once you're saved, you're on your way to heaven. you better make your calling election sure. You better be careful. You better not take other people's word for it, because God is a heart God. Nobody can't tell you and I we're saved. You got to go to God. The Spirit of God bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God, not some little old frail, weak-minded man. Man thinks they have all the answers. There's a way that seems right unto man, that the end thereof are the ways of death. I'm not trusting no man for my soul. I'm not trusting no woman, boy, girl, nobody. I'm going to know and hear direct from God where I'm at. He'll tell me if I'm right or wrong, not some man with their man-made rules and traditions. Paul said, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. You better know whom you believe, and be persuaded that he's able to keep that which you have committed unto him against that day. Well, bless God. And Eli never took care of the home situation. Boys, you say, yeah, but that's my kids. I can't kick them out. You give them a choice, folks. You don't just grab them by the hair of the head and throw them out the door. You give them a choice. Now, if you don't straighten up, I'm going to do this. This is going to happen. But if you'll straighten up, you can enjoy the benefits of my home. You make the choice. Then if they make the choice, it's out of your hands. They chose what direction they go. That don't mean you got to continue to let them live in sin in your presence, in your house. Let them go get an apartment. Let them move in with some other drug addict or alcoholic. How many of you suffered for years and years because you hated to come against your blood? Now let me tell you something, folks. Take that lesson about Eli. He didn't do nothing about his sons, and he wound up dead. And the glory of God was took out of their presence. You condone sin, the glory of God will depart from you. Well, you have a good day, and may Jesus bless you.